Having backups of your preps is always extremely important to have. This also goes for your digital preparedness. Having only one copy of important documents like your family pictures, social security cards, tax documents, and the like will mean that you may have to go through hoops in order to get these documents back in case of disaster, or they may potentially be gone forever, which could have been avoided by just having a backup of these items. This is the Digital Prepper, and today I'm going to talk about NAS devices and how they can help you with your digital preparedness. Later on, we will also take a look at and review one that was given to me as well. Before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that if you do like the video and want to discuss anything regarding digital preparedness or just preparedness in general, be sure to help get this video out to more potential preppers by leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing to see more like this. With that being said, let's get started. So first off, let's start out by talking about what a NAS is. NAS, N-A-S, is actually an acronym standing for Network Attached Storage. A NAS system is a storage device that is connected to your home network and allows you to have storage and retrieval of your data from a centralized device. A NAS is like having a private cloud in your home, and it's faster to access, less expensive than purchasing cloud services, and overall gives you complete control over your data. So now that you know what a NAS is, let me go through some of the benefits and disadvantages of having one. Starting with the benefits, one of the main ones is that a NAS device does not connect through your computer, but rather through your wireless router, meaning that multiple devices in your home network can have access to the same files at the same time. Another benefit is that most NAS devices actually allow you to access your files from anywhere with remote access. So even if you're on vacation away from your home, you can still access your files if you choose to. One last benefit is that in the event that you need to upgrade the storage on the device, most NAS devices actually make it pretty easy to do so. Now, looking at the negatives, starting off with the most important one for most people, some of the more high-end NAS devices can actually be pretty expensive, like upwards of over $1,000 expensive. Fortunately though, you can find deals as well as other NAS devices that don't have all the bells and whistles that will essentially do everything that you need it to do. Check the links in the description for some devices that I personally recommend. Another negative is that this is a device that is designed to be on 24/7. Now, if you only have one NAS device, it's not going to use that much power, but if you scale up with more devices, it is something to be aware of. Finally, one other big concern is that this is a physical device that is in your home. So, in the case of any natural disaster or human error that might affect your home, it may also cause you to lose your NAS and any data that is stored in it. Now, with all of that out of the way, I do believe that NAS devices can help you with your digital preparedness. For one, the potential massive amount of storage will help you to store a large amount of data, which can be important documents like birth certificates, to things like books or recipes, or even morale-raising things like video, whether it be TV or movies. This will also assist in saving you space if you have things like movies and books in a physical sense, as you'll be able to store many more books or whatever you have than if you had physical versions of them. Now, an important thing to note is that you do not need internet to use a NAS device, as your home network is enough to maintain the connection to the NAS device to your devices. So, if your power is out, for example, you can plug your NAS device into, let's say, a generator and be able to access the data from your devices without being connected to the internet. I would recommend, after making sure that your important documents are backed up, that you look into saving important books like Where There's No Dentist, When There's No Doctor, or if you're a bit more technically inclined, Collapse OS, which you can find out more by clicking the link in the card above after the video. Finally, having a NAS device will give you peace of mind in the case of disaster. You'll have more than one source of your data, assuming that you also have a physical version of, let's say, a birth certificate, for example, and you also will have a digital version as well, so you're essentially covered on both ends. So, now we get into the more fun part of the video, and I want to take a moment to thank ioSafe for providing me the ioSafe 220 Plus NAS to review, so let's just get into it. The ioSafe 220 Plus is a disaster-proof NAS that the company states is built to be both waterproof for up to 3 days when submerged in 10 feet of water, and fireproof up to 1,550 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. Now, the device itself comes in a wide variety of configurations, but for the purpose of this video, I'll be talking about the 4 terabyte version, which comes with two 2 terabyte hard drives. Now, unboxing the device, it comes with the device itself, a power adapter, as well as a network cable and an Allen wrench to open the hard drive door to the device, and finally the installation guide. The device itself is pretty massive, dwarfing my Buffalo Terra station as well as my Buffalo TS1200 station, probably due to the insulation needed for fire and waterproofing, and overall seems really well manufactured. For setting things up, the system actually makes it super simple. After plugging the NAS into your network, you'd pretty much log in similar to how you would log in to configure your router. Once you log in, it's almost like a second desktop that appears on your browser, and from there is where all the features are. Now, one of the first things that you want to do is change the default password on the device, and then afterwards the main screen shows things like the health of the system, the control panel where you'll configure settings like backup as well as updating the firmware, the file station where you can configure your folders for storage, as well as the package center where you can download third-party programs to potentially enhance the functionality of the device. Now, let's look at the price of the device. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. The one that I received retails at $1,360. Now, you can get the same device without the discs for $930, but you would have to provide your own discs. This price is most likely due to the device being mostly disaster-proof to water and fire, and honestly, the adage, you get what you pay for, does apply here. But I will say that there are cheaper options that are just as good, but might not have the disaster proofing like the 220 Plus. Now, overall, prior to NAS devices, people had to configure and manage hundreds or even thousands of file servers to store data, meaning that realistically only businesses could do this, and it was out of the reach for the common person like ourselves. Nowadays, we have many options to store data as a backup in case of disaster, and if you're not backing up your files and data, you're increasing the risk to yourself if disaster happens. Remember, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. After testing and playing around with the 220 for a few months, I would definitely recommend it, even thinking on the price point, as the disaster prevention is a huge plus. However, if you are just starting out with your digital preparedness, I would say start small with a similar device that doesn't break the bank. You can check the links in the description for this device, as well as some other ones that I recommend. Now, they are affiliate links, so feel free to remove that portion if you want, but it does help the channel as well. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to get more videos like this that will help you with your digital preparedness. If you have any ideas for more videos, or just want to share your experiences with prepping, please leave a comment down below. Stay safe, stay prepared, more digital prepping to come.